Oh wait, what? You hit me already? What's up everybody, it is I, Hero Vanjan. Welcome back to the Premier Cup. Today I've got a very special lineup here. This is triple anti-Dragonite. Now a lot of people have been talking about this big three in the Premier Cup. It's Dragonite, Metagross, and Togekiss. I actually don't believe in the big three of the Premier Cup because one, Togekiss I think is not that great of a Pokemon for the Premier Cup. Like, what does it really do? All it does is really just kill Dragonite, right? And maybe Gyarados, but you know, sometimes Gyarados can still pull off the win with the Hydro Pump. And then for Dragonite, I would say, yeah, it's a pretty strong pick. It's, for me, upper middle tier, somewhere around there, but not, you know, best of the best picks for the Premier Cup. And actually, guys, Gyarados and Dragonite kind of do the same thing. They protect Metagross from things that kill it, like Swampert, like what else? Garchomp, stuff like that, right? But Gyarados here can beat Metagross. It also can beat Togekiss as a swap-in if it lands the Hydro Pump. Plus, if you double shield it, it beats Dragonite. So I would say that Gyarados here is the much better Metagross bodyguard. Now, the concept of this team comp is actually very simple, and it's taking advantage of all this talk about the big three. You have three Pokemon that kill Dragonite, so this is the triple anti-Dragonite team, alright? You also have two Pokemon that kill Togekiss, you know, the two steals, alright? Magnezone and Metagross, and actually Gyarados, you'll see that it doesn't do too bad in some scenarios against Togekiss. You also have pretty good coverage against Metagross because Magnezone has a pretty decent matchup against it. It's a playable match, but it's very easy to pull off the win. And Gyarados here beats Metagross. So I swapped in my Gyarados to see what was in the back. It's Togekiss. Gyarados is not one of the Pokemon that typically beat Togekiss, but in this scenario, I was able to land the Hydro Pump. For some reason, people who like to use Togekiss don't like to block, which is actually smart because if you do block, Metagross is just gonna come in and farm it down, right? So it's really, for me, Togekiss is a liability. Togekiss, I think, is really a weakness on a team comp because most of the time, you know, people bring steel types, right? Magnezone kind of getting popular now, and yeah, this guy is everywhere. So since I didn't block the shield bait right there, I guess this is GG either way because I have the shield advantage, and yeah, even if he has the energy advantage, I was able to kind of like negate it by not blocking that Meteor Mash, which fortunately for me was not an Earthquake. Alright, so this is, I think, a really good team comp for now. Alright, it doesn't make sense, like the structure of it doesn't make sense, but since all of this talk, big three is happening, for now, I think it's pretty solid. I think you guys should take advantage of this now. Like, now. Why? Because in a couple of days, people are gonna be building more Swampert, more, I guess, Garchomp, and that is going to be really bad for this team. Really bad for this team. Now, people might start building fighting types as well, but I think that the way to go with fighting Metagross is really like mud. Okay, ground types. Why the mud types? The ground types. Why the ground types over the fighting types? Well, one, they heavily counter Magnezone. Magnezone cannot do a single thing to Swampert, to Garchomp. It's a beautiful thing when you get that matchup. And I have been seeing a lot of clips with Magnezone in the lead, in the back. It's just, it's starting to become a favorite, alright? It's starting to trend up because it does really well against Gyarados, Togekiss, and Dragonite, right? Very popular picks, plus it's playable against Metagross. So yeah, you can see that people are starting to see that and they're starting to trend towards, you know, having more steel types, or maybe a YouTuber put out a video or something, right? So yeah, Mud heavily counters you know, Magnezone, plus Swampert beats Machamp. Also, Garchomp beats Machamp. Now, the only reason why I won this is because my opponent here is shield heavy, like right there on the Dragonite. Yeah, I have two Pokemon that beat Dragonite. He just double shielded his Dragonite. He should have double shielded his Metagross. That would have sealed the deal, right? But yeah, he burned all the shields. Now he has a naked Metagross, even if it has, what is that thing called? The best buddy brooch thing? The best buddy pin? Yeah, that's... So anyways, back on the topic, I think ground types, the way to go instead of fighting types. But I'm gonna have to study that more, alright? I will have to, you know, really analyze stuff and things, but eyeballing wise, it just makes more sense to have the ground types over the fighting types. But I mean, the fighting types, Machamp has rock moves, so Oh man, this next fight, I hate it so much. I get completely outplayed. And it's a mirror match. Now the trick here is you wanna get the debuff. This is really like guns blazing type shootout situation. You wanna get the debuff and you wanna throw late. Why? Because your opponent is gonna inflict the debuff. Here I am, just throwing. Just going straight wild charge. I wasn't really thinking at the time. I had the debuff as well. So since I threw, now I have the debuff and his wild charge is going to hurt balls. And so I had to sack my Metagross. I had to sack my Metagross to keep my Magnezone alive. That really stinks, dude. And right here, I should have waited the timer down. He could just swap out and hello. That is so bad. Now the thing is, as you can see, right, this kind of like reinforces the point from earlier, which is that the ground types I think would be a much better anti-steel type for the Premier Cup because he had to block the wild charge. Swampert would be like, oh wait, what? You hit me already? I guess Garchomp would be the same. And you know what Machamp has is it has the Rock Slide, so it can pressure the shields from the Gyarados, which is nice. Now right here I'm gonna throw because trying to farm down the Magnezone is risky. I don't know. I didn't know at the time how much energy this thing had, and yeah, I don't think I would have gotten to the Hydro Pump either way, right? So yeah, this is a lesson, okay? Learn how to play Magnezone versus Magnezone good because it happens and it's a very complicated situation with all the debuffs and stuff. Alright, so this next one is actually pretty interesting because it jumps off our topic, Mud. Okay, Swampert, Garchomp. Alright, so we're gonna have a very good lead with Dragonite lead, and he's not, he's not about that life, so he's gonna swap in his Swampert. This is, I think, one of the worst ways to use your Swampert. Why? Because Swampert in this league gets hard countered by very common picks like what? Dragonite and Gyarados, right? So if you swap in your Swampert, it's not gonna be a good situation, especially if people have Gyarados save swap, which is I think is a very common save swap. Yes? Yes. So my advice is I would suggest you use it as the lead Pokemon. Why? There's a lot of steel leads, right? Magnezone, Metagross. And since there's a lot of steel leads, Dragonite, Togekiss, and no, not Gyarados, but Dragonite and Togekiss have started to trend down. Have you noticed that? I've definitely noticed this. And since there's less flying leads, except for Gyarados. Gyarados, I think, is still a very common lead, right? There's also more Machamp, which you actually beat with your Swampert. So I feel like that's the best place for it to be. Because it's kind of like a Bastiodon for this lead, right? It's a very hard counter to the steel types, Magnezone and also Metagross. And very hard counters usually get countered pretty hard, and it does in this situation, like with Dragonite here. So Dragonite can actually straight farm down Swampert, not give a care, and blow up your next Pokemon with a bunch of charge attacks. So yeah, so I think that it's the best as the lead Pokemon. Plus, if it doesn't work out, you can just sack it, just throw as many Hydro Cans as you can, and then have things in the back that can farm whatever thing beat it, and then devastate the next Pokemon, okay? So with this match, I just had control the whole time, and there's not really a lot to talk about. He used the Swampert as the save swap. I feel like that's a no-no for the Premier Cup, and yeah. But anyways, guys, this isn't about Swampert, this isn't about Garchomp, this is about the triple anti-Dragonite team, and Dragonite, guys, is everywhere. Alright, and there's something fishy happens in this last match. He is going to throw the Dragon Claw. He's gonna, well, it was a CMP type because I waited a couple of fast attacks. It's a CMP type, but he is going to magically transform into the Snorlax. So the thing is, all three of my Pokemon can kill Dragonite, right? Depending on shielding situations. Ballsy move, not shielding right there, but I had a feeling. Okay, and sometimes you just gotta follow the feeling. Now, I could swap out into a Snorlax that has energy, or just remind myself that all three of my Pokemon can kill Dragonite. So I have stuff for Dragonite. I don't need to go into a match with the energy disadvantage. And I got the switch advantage because I used my Magnezone properly. And yeah, this is basically GG right here. Interesting thing is that this Dragonite rocks the Outrage. Wow, that's actually pretty interesting. So I didn't know what was in the back. I wanted to kind of like save my Metagross with the energy, okay? Because What if he had, I guess, I don't know, a Togekiss in the back? That could be a possibility. That could definitely be a possibility. So the plan was swap in my Gyarados, farm up on the Dragonite, and then try to throw the Hydro Pump to kill like a Togekiss, if ever, right? It turns out it's a Metagross. Thank God I was able to get 2 crunches off to burn that last shield. I tried to swap there, but yeah, it wouldn't go. But I have energy. I'm going to hit this Meteor Mash, and it's going to be a GG because the Dragonite was at like, what, 1 fast attack? So yeah, good matches. I got a 4 with this set. I think you can do much better because I'm not that great of a player. If you use it now, while all of this talk about the big three, Togekiss, Dragonite, Metagross. I guess this team comp is usable until people start to use more ground types. When you start to see more Swampert, time to think of a different team comp. But for now, I think it's pretty good. Now I forgot to tell you that you might be thinking of making like a triple anti-Togekiss. I would say don't, because it's starting to trend. I'm seeing less and less Togekiss every single day. And again, mud types, ground types, I think are going to start trending up. And also, you might be tempted to do like a triple anti-Metagross type situation, which again, I would say don't, because Dragonite and Gyarados heavily wall those Pokemon. Basically, what I'm saying is the only thing you can safely triple anti is Dragonite. And yeah, that's a couple of points. We gaining, baby. We gaining. Premier Cup has been treating me so well, and I am enjoying playing Premier Cup.